Here we are. We're at a different location. Normally, where I park up, there's like trucks and vans and that, and I couldn't. So I hope the feed comes through okay, because up there we're on the 5G. I don't know what it's like down here. It's saying 4G, but is it working okay? Is it working okay? Someone message me. Say yes, it's working okay, chunks. Okay, no, I've hurt my back. Morning. Right, it's working. Right, this is the 1 hour Sunday newspaper review with me, Mark McGann, the artist taxi driver, Chunky Mark on the Twitter, and you know, we're gonna do the Mail. What we do, we got the Mail, we got the Observer, and we got the Sunday Times. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna spend 15 minutes on each one. We're gonna go through it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to like dissect it. We're going to be like, so the main news this week, and it's on the front page of all the papers, is the pullout from Afghanistan after 20 years. They're just gone. They didn't even tell anyone. They said, right, that's it. We're going, we're leaving. And it was gone. It was almost like they just went, fuck. You know, when someone just says, right, I'm leaving, and they just leave. It's not like, let's do this, you know, amicably. If like if you're in a relationship and you want to split up, you say, right, that's fucking, I'm going. But you want to do it right. So you say, listen, I think we need to maybe move on and like, but they just left. They just woke up one morning, they left. Dominic Raab was on his... We're going to get into that. Dominic Raab was on his holidays. He was in, I want to say he's in Crete, in Greece. And he was going, I ain't fucking coming back. He was going... He phoned Boris, and Boris said, fuck him. Stay there, Dom. He could phone Boris Johnson, they were saying, but he can't phone the fucking to get the people out in the planes. People were falling off the plane. People were can you even imagine? People were holding onto the wheels of the plane, and Dominic Raab was licking the coconut off his pina fucking colada, saying, I ain't coming back. Look, my hair's flat on one side. Maybe that's because you slept that side on it, chunks. Hold it like that for a minute. Yeah, that's better. UK run for the border. Women are crushed to death in the worst day at the airport because it's absolute chaos there. The Taliban are fucking got this massive PR campaign. They got ice creams. They took over the fun fair. They was on the Dodgems. They were riding round. And there's no like just fucking... Look, we're just in, and they're like already migrant record. Refugees, mate. Refugees. Lots of people fleeing war, fleeing poverty. Wars that we started. Wars that we're involved in. You know, the same as Afghanistan. They don't give a fuck. They do not care. They do not care. They're just like gone. Migrant records. What's this here? So when they go after someone, they really want them, don't they? This is the so much for the BBC's impartiality promise, because they're saying that Jess Brammer, who's gone for the job, is supporting the Marxist with a toy boy. Jim Ward from Peckham. Oh my God, that's fucking madness. That's why I write on the paper, who buys this shit? Who reads this shit? Her toy boy. But how's that then? Probably about the same age. Jim Waterston is 31. That's fucking ages. Why do they call him a toy boy? The media editor for The Guardian. Woke, they're on about the fucking woke again. Woke civil servants rail at uneducated voters and the rise of fascism. Yeah, fucking wokes. Going on about the rise of fucking fascism. We got Boris Johnson. Crushed to death in the stampede. At least 4 women are killed in front of terrified children as thousands desperate to flee the Taliban descend on Kabul airport after discovering mercy flights could end in 48 hours. And there's like one of the flights down there. That guy there, he's the British, he won plaudits. He's the British ambassador and he stayed behind signing off visas. There's dead people there, look. They're putting white sheets over them in a stampede. Can you even imagine what it'd be like at the airport, at Kabul airport right now? It'd be absolutely horrific. It'd be like the worst, like panicking, you've got your kids with you. And there he is, look. There's Facco. Has fiasco caused a rift between PM and Doolally Joe? Doolally Joe. It's a new one. Unlike the Foreign Secretary, Boris came back from his holiday after just 1 day. Where was he? Was he in Chevening? Was he in his grace and favour? Let me just see. Let me check. During the Prime Minister after his holiday in Somerset. Where was he in Somerset? See, all these people going down. They was protesting, yesterday. They're called Canal. Is it Canal? Is that like some kind of Cornwall, sort of like Southwest England independence movement? They're all fucked off with people coming back. Sorry, people buying second homes and people like coming down, ruining it for everybody, bringing their trash. Raab refused Downing Street order to come home from Greek. I tell you, it was Crete. It's Crete. He was on holiday in Crete. Sources claim the minister ignored Number 10's demand, but allies say Boris gave him nod to stay in Greece. So he was pulled out for the phone call, for not making a phone call. And what they did was they got him quickly and they took a picture of him on the phone. I mean, like what he did was it's not just negligent. He should be stripped. He should be kicked out of government. He shouldn't be holding a position anywhere in civil society. He should not be there. He's fucking useless. Raab, you know what he said? I didn't think. That's his epitaph. I didn't think. I didn't think it Dover. That was when he said that he didn't realise that Britain was an island. To do with Brexit. The Brexdemic. Nando's has got no fucking chicken. They didn't put that on the side. Someone's written that on the side of a bus. Nando's will run out of chicken. And they're saying it's because of the lorry drivers. They're saying, just give like 100,000, 10,000 visas to eat. I didn't think. That's the Tory. I didn't think it would be so bad. It's a fucking shambles. It's an absolute shambles. From fishing to farming to like finance to like just anyone that wants to like do any business with you. It's impossible. It's like red tape. That was one of their big fucking things, wasn't it? And this fucking idiot, who's licking it, he don't give 2 fucks. He just says, no, there won't be a border in the Irish Sea. Tell him to call me. It's a joke. A nation of root vegetables. We don't even have a fucking B-day. In Italy, you can't, we talked about this before, you can't clean your bum with toilet paper because it just smears all the poo over your bum. You can't do it, that's disgusting. So if you're using toilet paper, you need to use water. Otherwise, we're living like fucking animals. We're like animals. Walking around every day, shit ass, Why not? That's not a great country. That's a country of shit pants. The Italians, when Nonna comes over here, she's disgusted. She's disgusted. How's she supposed to clean her bum? You know, you need water. That toilet paper, and that was the first thing. That was when the pandemic started. The first thing that the British run to, what was it? Their fucking toilet paper. Because they can't get enough of smearing their shit all over their house. Every day. Every day. I mean, there's some people who time it. Like they wake up in the morning and they'll have a coffee. And then that kind of like, oh, what's in that caffeine? It's kind of moves things down in your belly. And you can have a poo. And then you go from the toilet into the shower or into the bath or just get the shower out. You can time it like that. But a lot of people, it happens regularly to everybody. You get caught out. You've had your shower, you've done a poo, and there's another one coming. And you're sitting there thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to get back in the shower and clean my bum again. Because it's like, if you walk around with, you get rashes and everything. It goes all red. Because it's not nice having shit smeared and it goes on your pants and your knickers. Then what? Oh, fuck's sake. That's why, like, and in the EU, they got B-days. They got B-days. They can wash their bums every day that they want. These fuckers here. Fucking Boris Johnson. No holiday for Sleepy Joe as he turns into a global figure of fun. They got him, like, eating that ice cream really badly. Like when they did Ed Miliband with the... What did he eat? Bacon sandwich. And they got like him with a blue Trump hat on and it says, make the Taliban great again. As even his cheerleader, I'm just about Sleepy Joe, or they're calling him, Doolally. Who calls him Doolally? They was heard in number 10 apparently. As even his cheerleaders in the liberal media turn on the befuddled president over his dire performance. I mean, you got to think about it. That was fucking shit. You know, they didn't tell anyone. They didn't camp commanders and all the Afghan soldiers and people that were like on the side of the British and the Americans. They had no idea. They woke up in the morning. It was like, where they gone? Joe was on the telly saying, we're fucking off. And there's some Taliban with ice creams as well. They're like popsicles. They're like on a stick and it goes round and round and round. Looks nice. Images of a baby being thrown over razor wire give Biden's desertion a human face that's rousing America from its slumber. To Biden, it's Vietnam. The scenes in Kabul were bound to be like Saigon. Why were they surprised when Afghan soldiers laid down their arms? Fucking hell. You've got the hate cleric. Taliban must be more hardline. Chop off hands, thieves' hands, stone adulterers and flog anyone who drinks. And there's Tom Tugendhat. Of course, I want to lead this. What? He wants to be the leader. He wants to be the prime minister. Hours after his electrifying common speech on the Afghan crisis sparked prediction he'll be our next prime minister, Tom Tugendhat flew to Europe's new refugee front line where he told our political Biden's US is a lion which just wants to sleep quietly in its bed. Okay, yeah. They work in the shadow of Big Ben. Their mobile phones tell the time, but Westminster staff make 2,000 calls to the speaking clock. If you don't know what that is, you can call the number. I think it used to be 123, and they will say the time. I think it's sponsored by Accurist. Say something like that. The time sponsored by Accurist is 9, 14 and 20 seconds. The time is 9:14 and 40 seconds. Polo in a private jet for Harry. It really isn't very green. They don't like Harry. Hypocrisy to make you fume. 9 and Sadiq Khan unveils a report urging all of us to leave our cars at home to reduce deadly pollution. Thursday 2 p.m. he takes a gas-guzzling three-car convoy with his police protection team to drive 4.5 miles to walk his dog. Even though there is a huge common close to his street. Why don't you just go there? Medical car. Diesel followed by his 13 miles per gallon Jag. Volvo leads the way, at least it's a hybrid. Back in VW for the crawl home. He vowed to end pollution scourge after assessment for three-car convoy. Operation Penguin, family food waste. After a toxic feud with Sarah Jessica Parker ruled Kim Cattrall out of TV's most hotly anticipated reboot, meet the Boogie Nights star taking her place. From Sex in the 70s to Sex in the City, look who's stepping into Samantha's Jimmy Choos. Chaos as lockdown protests hit Australia. I hear that, what's his name? Wrong said Fred. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. He's in hospital. Antibody test to help pick who gets the booster. The latest statistic. Positive tests. Deaths. 100 people still dying every day. During the war, you could go to jail for wasting food. It was a crime then and still is now. War on food waste. That's Prue Leaf. He's a bit of a Tory. It's in the Mail. So, and also we got Tony Blair. They say he's a bit of a Tory, like Thatcher. The bastards. It's like what was that film where the head was spinning? A little girl. She was like possessed. What's that called? Exorcist. Tony Blair. It's like he's got the possession of Margaret Thatcher. Biden's retreat is imbecilic. And it tells our enemies we don't have any interest or values worth defending. Powerful and brutally honest intervention from the PM who took us into Afghanistan. Our ambition to turn the country into a democracy was not an ignoble one. We're at a risk of relegation. I don't even know, because they were talking about that nation building the other day. And then someone was on, we've been there, we built all the roads, we built all the hospitals, we built all the schools. Did they though? I'd like to know how many hospitals we built there. So I thought we only built hospitals for the Americans and us. What do you think of that word, imbecilic? Imbecilic, because I've heard that a lot. It's on the front page over there as well. Imbecilic. I like it in Spanish. Imbécil. I like the Spanish. Imbécil. That's how they say it in Spain. One of my favourite phrases, I really like it. It's a Spanish phrase. And it means, it's like if someone comes up to you and you don't want them there, you can say, excuse me, please, but can you go and stand over there? And the phrase is, vete por ahí. I think I said that right. Vete por ahí means go and fucking stand. It depends on the tone of your voice as well. It just means get out, get away from me. Tony Blair, what kind of character do you think? I mean, how will history remember him? Is that fucking? He was like started a war and like in Iraq, like with some, was it a dodgy dossier? How the fuck did they do that? And it was on the front page, like they're saying, like the actual speech that he made in Parliament. He said all sorts. Anthrax was like big words like that sounded really like a skull and crossbones, like green, like he was saying all sorts. He's got this, he's going to do that in 45 minutes. And it was like then that they went to war. And it was the second war, wasn't it? Because the first Gulf War was the first Bush started it. And it started because, I want to get this right, so you can look this up. It started because there's a really, really big oil field. I want to say it's like the second or third biggest in the entire world. It's called Rumalia oil field, and it's on the border with Kuwait. And I think like back in the day, whenever it was first discovered, turned at the beginning 1920s or even before, when they discovered that, it was like, fucking hell, it's massive. And I think it was BP, and they was in there, but whatever happened over the years, you know. But what they were doing from the Kuwaiti side was they were going down and under drilling and siphoning it off. And I think that's when they moved forward, like Saddam invaded Kuwait. And that started the second Gulf War. And that oil field now is run by, I want to say it's 50-50 with the Iraq's BP and China. It's true. And China, I think Sinopec are in Rumalia oil fields. And it's really easy to extract that oil. It's like just sitting there. It's just like on top. You've got to go down far. Produces something like, I want to really on my like numbers and that, but I want to say it's like 4 million barrels a day. And the entire country in the UK only consumes 1 million barrels of oil a day, something like that. And all that's why we're such a rich country, you know, that we go around the world and starting wars. Tony Blair. You want to tell me that, like, there was a point, it was a few years ago, and it was the guy from, I think he was from BP. He was the CEO of BP. And what had happened was they didn't have, that Iraq actually owed BP and America and the West money, and they were paying off their debts with oil. Can you imagine it? You go to another country, you start a war, and you start extracting like the one thing, and the one thing of value, and then you're getting paid in oil, like, even though it's a fucking joke. And you want to think that there's some kind of like, they got like probably a couple of decades, maybe 30 years out of that field. It's quite mad, isn't it? But no one even talks about it. No one even knows. I was saying this to someone the other day about where's the world's largest gold mine, and it's actually in like West Papua, or like over in it was taken by Indonesia, but there's like company, I think Rio Tinto's out of there now, but like they got like the world's #1 gold mine, the world's #3 copper mine, all in this begins with G. What's that one called? Yeah, anyway, it's this place in Indonesia. You never know. Everyone will, if you say where, because everyone knows where the world's highest mountain is, where the world's highest river is. Eddie's 2 million family home ruined by Riviera wildfire. Eddie who? Eddie Redmayne. Want to see extremists destroy a nation? Look at our liberal Taliban, from Peter Hitchens. Can you have liberal Taliban? Can you imagine a liberal Taliban? Are you fucking... Sarah Vine on Sunday. How amoral Love Island is taking us back. Oh, fuck's sake. That's damn expensive. Rare bottle of scotch, 12 grand. Is that it? As a boy, I knew British was best. It still can be if we encouraged doers rather than virtue signalers. And it's James Dyson, double page, fuck's sake. Designing the Mini, cracking the DNA code, just two of the national achievements to lit up. James Dyson, childhood, inspired tomorrow's inventors. An enigmatic online post and silence on Meghan's 40th is this new evidence of rift between the Duchess and her BFF. What's a BFF? Best friend forever. I don't know what's going on here. Dosh and Bex. Does 100 million Grealish's deal with same label as childhood sweetheart prove they've stolen Beck and Grealish fleeced? As if the unfolding debacle isn't enough, we revealed a surreal saga of millions of aid has been squandered on villas for corrupt politicians, planes left to rot, even goats flown in for Kashmir farms. War on the Chinese, bodyboards poisoning UK beaches. Yeah, I think we've done the Mail. Same shit, same bollocks. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to paint the front of that and I'm going to write something on it. I'll write like, yeah. We'll do the toilet one today. Wipe your bum here or wipe your ass here. We'll work it out later. They do have a magazine that is like fucking, that is poisonous. If you eat that, that thing is toxic. Don't eat it. I mean, not that you do eat it. But it's all like, do you know how much? Do you know how much the gloss cost? Do you know, how do they print these? That's what I was saying. Like, I wrote on the front of the Daily Mail, who reads this shit? Who buys this shit? Obviously me, but who else? Who buys this shit? Who, when I say who buys this shit, it's kind of like not just physically paying for it with money, but also who buys this. It's like, who believes this? Do you buy that? Do you know what I mean? Do you understand that? And it's actually, the answer is 1 million people buy the Daily Mail or the Sunday Mail, the Mail. 1 million people, I think it's 1 million. Might have gone down a bit, might be 999,000, might be a couple less. But 1 million people, 1 million, buy the Daily Mail every single day. It's fucking a joke, isn't it? Because it's like, there's so much bollocks in there. Right, we're on to the Observer. And this is Afghans are facing catastrophe without urgent aid. I mean, people need help there. It's like, the scenes are just horrific. The one where they was like falling, when they were holding on to the plane and the plane was taking off. One I just seen in there, like a stampede. Look, Ocado drivers. See that over there? I think Ocado's like, they drive for like Waitrose or Marks. They drive, bring you food, groceries. Paid less than £5 per hour for deliveries. Yet the CEO, the boss, is fucking licking it. When do people, like, you know, like the reason why people are so rich is because they profit from the pain of others. So people struggle. Like, if you're if you're on £5 an hour, do you know what you can buy for £5? If you worked 8 hours, you would get £40 for that day with no breaks. There's a couple of magpies there. Can you even imagine that? It's fucking horrific. And the people that they're at the top, because that's how they cut the wages, isn't it? I said that time with the nail clippers. The reason why they're so cheap as fucking chicken, is because all the way along the chain, the actual, like, the expenses that they had to pay were cut out, because they got money back for other things. That's why, like in the mines and that, they build the the houses for the miners and the shops for the miners, and the miners rent the houses, the miners go to the shop, and then the money goes back to the owner and they pay you. That's like that. What's that thing called? When they do the money trick, the magic, no, not the magic money trick, but the money trick. It's in that really famous book. I've forgotten it. I'm going to have to go for my dementia test soon. It's the Ragged Trousered Philanthropist. There you go. And he does that thing where he's got these co-workers, and he's like trying to say to them about the money trick. So they've all got their lunch. It's just some bread and knives. So he divvies it up, and he gives them, I think he says, oh, you got to work. Can you produce 9 pieces of bread? 9 pieces of bread. And he chops up all the bread into little things, gives them a knife. And he said, this is the machinery. You can chop it up. I want you to make 9. And they make 9, and they give it to the guy, and he's got these 9 pieces of bread from this fella. 9 pieces, it's a piece of bread chopped into 9, and 9, they've made it. And this fella here, so now he's got 27 pieces of bread that they've made from the week. And he's got 3 coins, they're only little coins, and he gives them all a coin each. And they say, thanks for the work that we did. And then he says, or then they say, but we can't eat the coins. He said, buy some bread from me. So they all give him their coins, say it's £1. They all give him £1, and he gives them 1 piece of bread each, like one of the cuttings. So he's got a piece, he's got a piece, he's got a piece. They made 27, they take 3. He's got 24 pieces of bread and all the money back. And this lot here, they've eaten their bread. The necessities of life, they've eaten it. And they're like, fucking, can we have some more work? He said, yeah, go and make 9 pieces of bread again. They could chop it up. Gives them he's gives them 1 each. He gives them a coin, he gives them a thing back. He's now got, what's he got? 48 pieces of bread. They've all eaten 2 little pieces each. He's got 48 pieces. And they do it again. He's got 100 pieces. They got fuck all. Because they keep eating it. He gives them the money, they eat it. He gives them the money and they give it back. And they're working to produce it. And what he ends up with, what he's got in his hand, the CEO of fucking Cato, do you know what he's got in his hands? He's got the fucking... he's got it all. Mr. fucking Okado in the palm of his hand. Or any other, like, people profiting from the pain of others, like where they pay them so low, so little, and at the top they get so much. Do you know what he's got in his hands? He hasn't got everything. He's got the surplus. And it's the surplus, the labour that these people are doing, you know, all of us are doing. That's the surplus, and that's where he can go out, and then he turns around and he says, do you know what? I only need 2 of you this week. Like, you can go, and they're going to have to pay you half the wages. They say, fucking joking. So they say, no, well, if you don't want to work, we'll go and get some other people, just come in and work. So they go to work. One of them gets laid off, and they've only got 2 left. And he's there, like, thinking, fucking hell, we better work hard. And he comes at the end of the week, and he gives them their wages. They've made 9 pieces each. Give them £1 each. They come to the shop and they say, how much is that bit of bread? And he's cut it in half. He says £1 for half, £2 for that 2 bits, the whole piece, but I cut it in half. They're like, you've doubled the price of the fucking bread. How are we supposed to eat that? How are we supposed to feel? Well, I don't know. You better go back and work a bit more. That's why you have to work on Sundays for the Tories and Saturdays and a weekend and a night, because Tories ain't cheap. Rich CEOs ain't cheap. You know, providing stately homes, castles, crystal chandel fucking Lears, ponies for their daughters, Bentleys for their sons. And you got to work hard. You know, the Queen's not cheap. Her fucking entire sprawling family, none of them are cheap. That's why you got to keep working. Look, you've gone off on a fucking tangent there, Chunks. What are you going on about? First of all, you're going on about shit pants. Right, 35 minutes in, and we've... What? And we've... No, what? 35 minutes? Blair with no shoes, spare clothes or money. That's like fucking... Ray comes home. Water valves thrive again. Oh, I love water. I should paint a water valve. Vole. Blue sky thinking helps the ice cream trade to keep its cool. Yes. So, yeah, because they're going on about ice cream vans running their polluting engine outside of schools where it's chugging because they need the engine to run to make the ice cream come. Where's mummy? Male violence leaves at least 80 children a year without a mother. How do young survivors cope, and what help do they get? That's really horrific. Bid to save Tyne's swing bridge that just won't swing. They made a swing bridge that doesn't swing. Why Brown left the most famous dinner in politics still dinner. What? That's rubbish. Raging Delta variant takes its toll as Philippines runs out of nurses. Know your enemy. Greece plans to name heat waves in the same way as storms. Excommunicated. Spanish witch village turns curse into cash. Jack Flash. Oh, we didn't do the sport, did we? Let's have a look. I was watching the women's cricket yesterday. What? It was fucking amazing. I want to say they're over invincible. Someone from my family, they went the other night to the Oval to watch the women's cricket. It was like a playoff or something. It was the one before they had, not yesterday, the day before. They had one last Saturday. So it was a week ago. And they scraped through. They just about managed to get through. And they got into a knockout. And then they went into the final. I'd never watched women's cricket before. I mean, I do like cricket. And they were fucking phenomenal. They got like, is it Tarrant? She's a really good bowler. Ishmael, really good bowler. They got a 17-year-old called Capsy. She bowled like 20 balls, like for 5 runs. And she took a wicket. She's 17. She's playing in the final. And she had a really good partnership with Cap. Now, Cap, in the final, they bowled her, I think it was like straight for 10 balls. So she just had 10 balls. She took 4 wickets. She's fucking unbelievable. She also top scored with Capsy. Her and Capsy made a little partnership. And then like she came back. Did she get 3 wickets? And then she came back right at the end. There was the last wicket. And she bowled it. And it was the captain. So the captain, as she bowled it, the captain jumps up in the field because she took the wicket. She's going fucking nuts, the captain. Dane Van Nykirk. And that's her wife. Isn't that fucking amazing? It's the final of the women's cricket. And Cap, who's like absolutely fucking unbelievable, bat and ball. And the captain, she did a thing the other night. You can have like a timeout thing. She did a thing like the other night, and she went like, "Oh fuck, do you know? Just have a timeout. Let's go," because they were losing. They had a timeout thing, and that was it. Tarrant, she just done this fucking mad catch, and then the next ball she bowled. It's amazing. I really like it. But you're not going to see too much more like on that level, because I think, well, maybe you will. Maybe they'll do it more often, 100. Quite liked it. Liam Livingstone, he's brutal, but he was like, he should have won that last night. He's like one of the best hitters of a ball I've ever seen in my life. Liam Livingstone. And he should open for England against the fucking, in the next test. He should open. Just put him out there. He's incredible. There's enough of the fucking sport. Focus, is the American century over? Why flamboyant home makeover shows are back. Robert, what's his name? Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen. Do you know him? He had a program, his first program, do you know what it's called? Homefront. And he used to turn up at houses and he used to do them up. And he used to go to my uni college, Camberwell. And he said, is there anyone at I was always on the telly. I want to be on the telly. And he says, is there anyone at Camberwell that can help? I'll do something. And it was like, is it Dermond? He was doing the garden. So I show up. What I did was I built like, it's a square board. And I did a spiral with 2x2, all different lengths. So like when you look at the spiral front on, you see the perfect spiral. Moose, I painted it completely white, sprayed it up in the sculpture department. And came on, shh. I got a really bad back. Shh. Fucking amazing. I brought it there and they put it in. It looked really good. And it was a couple who wanted, it was in Wimbledon. It's a couple who wanted a disco, like turn a room into a disco. So they done all this like funny lighting, like on my piece they were like projecting spotlight. That was the home front. I was on that with Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen, and I met him there. And I went out in the garden. That fella there didn't, but like some of that they didn't even take them out of the pots. You know that they put a bit of growth around it, just stick it there. I was wondering, it's because they're in a rush. Yeah, you get because they take the couple away. That's it. They take the couple away. And then I was there on the night, and it was like when it was revealed to them, it was in Wimbledon. You all get drinks and canopies and that. And they was like coming around with the drinks and they'd bring the couple in. Shh. And they come in, they haven't seen it. They haven't seen the disco. They go, surprise! And they open up there. Oh my God! Oh my God, look at it! He's got 2 turntables. What are you going to have in a disco? Some lights and a mirror ball. That was it. Oh! A bar, some stools, and like a dance floor. I think the dance floor changed. It was only little. It wasn't a big room. It had like about 8 squares on it. So like, if you wanted to play like Disco Inferno or like, and you wanted to do some spinning, you'd be the only one on the floor because otherwise you're going to knock someone out. Okay, let's get on with the news. Boris Johnson's global Britain is exposed as impotent. It won't do to blame the US for Britain's humiliation. I mean, that's it, isn't it? We lost the war. We lost it. Global Britain, man. I delegated getting Afghanistan done to Raab, the boy wonder, and I delegated getting Afghanistan done to whoever wasn't on holiday. The idea of ethical porn is a nonsense. Only unregulated sites make money. Okay, there's a bit about James Bond, economy bouncing back. Economy bouncing back because the Brexit is like fucked, isn't it? Everything's gone. As influencers spread through social media, bringing the Irish closer together is one up. Jesus, what kind of speed are you travelling at, mate? Did you feel that whoosh? All right. So we've done, I'll throw that one down there, I'm not painting the front. I still got bad back. What time is it now? Just checking, we've got 1 paper to go. We've got 15 minutes to go. So we'll do 10 minutes because it's normally shit. It's the Tory Times of London. It's the Islamophobic Tory Times of London. Blair attacks Biden's that's that word again. Again. Imbecilic. How do you say it? Someone tell me. I'm just going to say it in Spanish, imbécil. Imbecilic. Imbecilic. What do you reckon? Imbecilic. Pronounce it as you say it. Pronounce it as you see it. That's what they used to say at school. Imbecilic. Biden is imbecilic. Third line, exhausted British troops. Raab, PM Tom. Look at that there. It's the evidence. Look. Raab, the PM told me I could stay on holiday. But that's the whole fucking point with Boris and fucking Johnson in charge. He's licking it. He's living in his grace and favour. He ain't got a pot to piss in. He can't afford to fucking even decorate his own flat. He's so broke. They just want to get money. He said, I'll get some money and I can't wait to leave as Prime Minister. Leave all this shit and just be rich. How are the others? Like, if he's the Prime Minister, he's the mirror. He's the mirror. He's the reflection. So Raab is like, of course Boris Johnson told him to stay on fucking holiday. It's only fucking Kabul. They're like, I'm not answering the phone. Come on, Dom. It's Dominic Raab. Come on, Dom. The Taliban are here. They're on the fucking dodgems, mate. They're licking all the ice cream. Dom. Dom, open up. I spoke to Boris. He said I could stay on holiday. That's just to make you look bad. He's like, what should we tell Dom? Just tell him to stay on holiday. He'll get fucking clouded. I fully support Dom. Dom's there. He's rubbing in all the hombre solaire, licking his coconut of his pina colada. Nearly said something wrong then. And he's like out fucking on a sun lounger. Kabul's fallen. The people falling out of a plane. And now they done a moody photograph to make it like he done the call. And then 2 days later, they were lying. They were lying to the media. Media said, produce the evidence that he made the call. He never made the call. Now that we're hearing that he's going to do a parachute jump. Who? Dominic Raab. For a charity. Some Tory MP said something about James O'Brien the other day, and I saw that. It was like, was that all to do with Dominic Raab doing a parachute jump? He's too busy. He's going to do a parachute. He's doing it for a charity. There's a fucking war on. The Taliban, there's no war. The Taliban are fucking taking Kabul. And doing a parachute jump for charity. Fuck's sake. I'm sweating now. It's getting really hot in here. Putin stays and fights while the West runs, Blair. One man's dream holiday, 200 miles over 24 hours on 14 different buses. Okay. Wish you were here with heavy duty strimmer, Brighton hit by war of weeds. See, do you like weeds? Weeds are flowers. They're just like unwanted flowers. Cash is why private schools do best, says State. Oh, really? Didn't know that. Have you seen this fucking paper? We're not about to give this all up for some Kalashnikov wielding bumpkins. These days, Kabul's tech-savvy young enjoy yoga, fast food and Love Island. They will not easily surrender their freedoms. People are used to a free press and TV shows making fun of the president. Yeah. I mean, they're in fucking trouble. And and we just run away. Went there, fucking cause chaos and run away. Look at it. That's what I was saying about this paper. You can't fucking read it. It's fucking massive. Look at that. 2 trillion. That 2 trillion. And look, I think that's raising the flag. I think that's Hiroshima Jima, but look, they're raising a white flag. A control freak foreign secretary on holiday. That's Dominic Raab. This is Tim Shipman. Let's read a bit of Tim. A control freak foreign secretary on holiday and a complacent president caught napping. The fall of Kabul shames the West. Raab nobbled Boris after being ordered home. Biden looked gaga, said one UK minister. View from Sleepy Joe's hometown. He's done what everyone else promised. It's such a mess, another Vietnam. But live on television, he just looks like a dolt. Afghanistan collapsed, and with it Britain and America's credibility. 2 sets of confrontation crystallised recriminations. Military sources told MPs that there have been heated words in front of their troops between British and American commanders at Kabul airport, where thousands are trying to get on flights. In one account, there was a stand-up row between officers from TUPAR and the US 82nd Airborne. In another, an irate British officer shouted down a US superior. The general's mother's lineage was called into question. In London, ministers and their advisors watched with incredulity. One minister said the president looked gaga. An aide described the press conference as completely mad, and the president as doolally. Such thoughts are normally never whispered in Whitehall, let alone briefed. It took us 6 years to get here. Now we fear for our parents. Yeah, they were saying like, you know, can't really realistically take like 20,000 people. No, 20,000. No, we can only take 5,000. 5,000. That's like, you could get 5,000 people in that field. They're just standing there. 20,000. Do you know there's 200,000 people go to Glastonbury? Someone said you can't get like fucking 5,000 people that are in desperate. It's life or death. That was like that time when, like, you can't even imagine it was you. And all the complaining and all the whining that we do when we have to queue up or like fucking do anything. And these poor people, like struggling, trying to get out of Kabul. Like it is absolutely horrific. Some making journeys all the way down through the fucking thing to come over to, like, through other countries, through refugee camps. That's right, can you imagine if it was you? Just for a second. Like, imagine the desperation. You haven't got anything. You haven't got all these fucking privileges. I ain't got the newspaper. I ain't got my glasses. I ain't got the car. I'm fucking footing it. And all you've got is your hot feet. You're sweating. You might have a bag with you, another top. But you got nothing. You got to leave all that behind. I went out to the refugee camps in a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in near Dunkirk, and I went to an Afghani camp. It was like literally on a roundabout, but it's like a motorway fucking roundabout, and everything goes over it, and underneath you have all that dead space that when they build sort of like roads and things, and it's out, and they have like they cultivate it a little bit and put trees. They were living there. It was the road to the hospital, and they lived in the middle of nowhere. They lived in sort of like abandoned space, negative space. They lived there. And when I got there, like we went in a couple of vans. I said, I'll go to this one. We were bringing things, and we had like it was a yellow van. Remember, a really old fucking rickety van. Anyway, we got there. The people that I was with, I was mainly interviewing the people that I was with, not talking. I was talking, but not interviewing any people, because It's really dodgy. If they put them on a thing on the internet, on YouTube or anything like that, the police come and get them. But anyway, so they just took off this big board, and it was just filled with multiple sockets. They put it down on the ground. They had a big generator, and it generated the electricity. And all the guys come and they put their phones, like plug their phones in. But they was obviously really like, fucking hell, they were kids. And they brought some balls and they were like having a game of football and that. They came out and done a bit of social, and there was some food. They'd like made up special bags, they were like one bag each. But they were all kids. And it's like, I went to an Eritrean camp as well, and a Kurdish one. And the Eritrean one, see, because we don't have any reciprocal, like you can't just send people, like they were young kids. It's because I think they get sent to the military when they're really young, and their parents go, get the fuck out, because the military is horrific. And then a Kurdish camp, you know, and they don't even have a country. They live in like across Iran, Iraq, Syria, Turkey. The world's fucking, you know, the thing is that what I don't understand is that what I just started, like, I don't understand how people you can't imagine how it feels. But when I was out there and I was speaking to like a guy in the Kurdish camp, he was just like, I want life. He could speak, he just said, I want life. I'm young. Look at this, look where I'm living. What it was, they were getting deeper and deeper into the woods because the French police come and smash up the camp because they don't want camps to settle. They don't, because then they know that they'll be aid agencies that come, schools, doctors, and they bring it all to the camp. So they just keep smashing the camps up. They just drive up, and fucking people got tents and everything like that, and they've got a scarper. But there's nothing for them, nowhere for them to go. That's like fucking on our doorstep, and we're here, and all we're surrounded by is like this whole sort of like culture war, the Daily Mail fucking, you know, we're all right. We're not fucking all right. If like everyone, you know, you should have some kind of empathy. It's a big joke, sorry. I'm getting, like, it's upsetting. Raab, better not call Raab. At risk of persecution, need urgent assistance in an international crisis. And he's like, is that a margarita with a little olive? I think that's Campari. Is it gin and Campari or something? What's a margarita? I don't even know what's in it. A world on the move. The Afghan crisis will add millions to an unprecedented wave of migrants and refugees. Destination countries face tough decisions. Humans tired of migration. People, my mum and dad migrated. They come from Ireland. You know, lots of people's families, you know, my mum and dad, they had to find work. They couldn't, like, in Ireland it was really bad. And it was tough. My mum's from the north, my dad's from the south, and it was like they both like found it quite tough. Well, they thought that they could come to London and things would be different, and they came, and we were all born. You know, and we've you know, the privilege of working for Ocados for £5 an hour. What the fuck is going on in the world? It's so, you know, it's so upsetting. And the thing is, it should be like, you know, we should all be together. We should all have enough empathy to understand that, you know, people need basic human, like water, like fucking for the B-day to wash their bums. Like they need basic human like things like water, housing, shelter. You know, they don't need like fucking big fucking guns, AK-47s, like running around fucking shooting. They don't need like military zones, airport with like fucking completely shut down, stampedes, people falling off of the wheels of planes, begging. begging for life. I want life. I want life. We all want life. Anyway, what are we doing? Fucking hell, Chunks, you've gone over fucking time again. What is that, 60? Right, that's... I always get like... I love doing this on a Sunday. I wish I could do like 1 hour every day. Because there's so much more to talk about. I'll just do like 2 minute... taxi driver 2 minute newspaper review. I've also got watercolours. Go and have a look at my fucking art shop on the Etsy. Fucking amazing. I've done some really beautiful ones recently. I did 2 llamas licking. I did one of Geronimo. No, not 2. 2. Did you say 2 alpacas licking? And Geronimo. I painted Geronimo and Rin Tin Tin. Do you remember Rin Tin Tin? Do you remember him? Painted him this week. And I painted a couple of landscapes. Wasn't too impressed. So the other day, someone was talking about photography and saying like, you can, if you're lucky to get one good photograph off a roll of film like 36, you're lucky. You'd be really lucky to get one. You're lucky to get 1 in 100, and that's the same with painting as well. Like you really want to, like, well, sometimes you're not always in the best position in your heart that you want to paint something fucking extraordinary. You want to create something extraordinary. You're really there, you're up for it, and other times you're not. And it's like, sometimes it's, you have to have it in your nut, the intention. How do you paint something absolutely unfucking believable? And I thought Rin Tin Tin. It's a fucking good painting. Oh, and I did this little baby elephant coming down in a parachute. It's so cool. Anyway, fucking great to be like, I enjoyed that for an hour. I hope you did too. I'll put some clips up. I'm definitely putting up the clip about the fucking B-Day if I can find it. Hey.